Hello dear students, welcome to the biology class in 5th period and the last period of this today's class. I hope that you will get a good learning from this session today, and today's topics a new chapter, chapter 11, and the topics is counted here, the reproduction. So reproduction is the process by which organisms produce their offspring is called reproduction. That means there is a process going on there, specifically when we will try to understand about the reproduction. So on that time we can say the process by which organisms produce their offspring. By a process, any organism can produce their new offspring, that is called reproduction. Okay, so reproduction is a common phenomenon, common event, so that we are in the world, we are here, all of us, like you, me, and everyone in the world, or any living creature, in case of the plant, animals, all kinds of living survivability and living things can ensuring by this process to produce their offspring. So it is the reproduction, and reproduction is very important topics for having in there. There is the many of the way we can say about the reproduction. Reproduction can have some significance we can find out accordingly. So what are the significance? That means to maintain evolutionary trends, okay, to carry heredity features, then we can say to ensure the existence of living creature, Many of the point can also be asking. I tell you, these are the significance. What is the significance of reproduction? What is the significance of reproduction? So basically, to know about, to maintain the evolutionary trends. To maintain the evolutionary trends means, what is the evolution? That means the human beings in previous day, very ancient time, the human beings, or very ancient period of time where there are very big trees, or their structural appearance, and the people we feel and we think that in the religious practice and thinking about then, the 60 feet people were in there, but now it is not. There is a evolution, changing trends. So now we are in. Okay, this is the evolutionary trends. Reproduction can ensure with maintaining this one, the evolutionary trends, and we are also from our ancestor, but our ancestor is not like us also, if we find out many of the ancestor before. So that one, and to carry heredity features, to carry out the heredity features, what the functional, what you are looking like, what you are doing activities, and around you and your parents, then their parents, how they can impose to maintain this chain, and from which the characteristics I got from. That is the trends, heredity trends, to maintain sequentially. And then after, to ensure the existence of living creature. Everyone want to ensure their existence in the world. Your grandparents maybe died or maybe alive, but if it is died when they were at the age of us, they thought also to need to have the existence of them, so that your parents are in the world. Everything, it is in case of the animals I tell, in case of the plants, everything having the same features to go on there. And so what will happen in this time? This time is maintaining that the process with organism by which the organisms produce their offspring, and to maintain the evolutionary trends, to carry hereditary features, to ensure the existence of the living creature. These are the common significance of reproduction. Now we will go through the plant reproduction. Reproduction in case of plant. In case of plant, who are visiting today, that means as a guest, this number make me say here, the many of the guest is in our room today. This is the classroom, many of the guests. So I want to draw attention of our guest in the class. Dear guest, wait for your award, because ending of the year, when I counted the presence of you in the class, and your activities and your performance and your assignment submission and everything, then you will get reward in the continuous assessment test, CA mark, and also the other marks, or attendance also have the marks. So my dear guests who are joining today, welcome, but it is not satisfactory word from my side. Okay, it is not satisfactory word I tell you here. I know that, I know you very well who are the guests of today's class. Welcome, very welcome, but I don't like the guest. I like regular properties, regular maintaining parts, regular students, okay, here in the classroom, and you will get the reward what you demand for in the full of the year. When you were in the class 8, I sought out what type of student you were in, and now in the category. You missed the class of Monish sir here, so Monish sir will not ready to give you by see your face and role or designation. I don't think about that. Who will be joining the class, they will be get reward, positive reward, and who will just enter after a couple of days, entering as a guest, they will also get reward, because the lots of marking is waiting for you. So when you will get the reward, then you will get frustrated. I get only 48 out of 100. Wait. You know me very well. I am very sincere about the study and study related activities. Attendance I collect every time, and the captain, so I get appreciate to her. Every time she accurately, I check several times, accurately the class attendance sent to me here, and I already collected that who are the students are joining in the class 11, 12, 13, and today the number of students 26, just maintaining double guest. Many of the guests are joining here to see the Monish sir in the class. So you will get your reward. Not much time in your hand. This is the August, September, October, November, 3 months. So if you want to continue your guest continuity, okay, the guest will get crest, negative crest, if you think that you will be a guest. Very first one, the reproductive organ. Reproductive organ. In case of plant, same definition, organism, or likely on that time the living organism. Instead of writing the living organisms on there, you will write on there the production of new offspring from the plant by a process is called plant reproduction. In case of plant and reproductive organ, it is known as the flower. In case of the flower, flower is known as the reproductive organ of the plant. Yes, special type of modified shoot. Flower is special type of modified shoot. Flower is a special type of modified shoot. Special types of or type of modified shoot. Shoot, not root. Shoot is up to the stem, above the stem. Full part is called shoot. So modified shoot, when it will be modified, shoot to be modified to count it as with the different parts and attractive parts of the plant, we can say it is the flower. It is called on there. Okay, two reproductive parts are found in there. Two reproductive part. Flower has two reproductive part. Flower has two reproductive part. One is the androecium and gynoecium. Androecium and gynoecium, two reproductive part. We will go through after drawing, then it will be better for understanding, but main think about that this is the male reproductive part and this one is the female reproductive part, and flower have these two reproductive part. One is the androecium and second one is the gynoecium. So flower has two main reproductive part. Okay, there is the category, actually these part are directly take part in the reproduction or reproductive system. In case of the flower, since the reproductive organ, since the reproduction in case of plant, we understood here. Try to understand here. Okay, so later on we will try to understand the flower are of two category, counting as the two category. Flower two category, one in this case the complete flower, and another one is known as the incomplete flower. Complete flower and incomplete flower. First one is the complete flower, second category is the incomplete flower. Okay, so we can say flower with 5 rolls. This is the terms 5 rolls. What are the 5 rolls are actually mentioning in there? We know about the first of all receptacles. Sometimes it is also called known as the thalamus, then calyx, then corolla, then number 4 androecium, and then number 5 gynoecium. Androecium and gynoecium. All 5 parts. This is the receptacle or thalamus. We can say when we will go through the details about to draw the figure, and accordingly there are parts to mention here specifically. So that time it will be better for understanding. Receptacles, calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. In class 8 also you have learned this one. Already you know about that one, and that is all the 5 roles, main important parts present in a flower is called complete flower. Okay, so what is the complete flower we know about? So their example we can say the China rose and datura. China rose and datura is the complete flower. Any of the role is absent. Flower with not 5 rows. Flower with not or without 5 rows. Any of the single rows. If it is all 4 present, no receptacle, all four present, no gynoecium, all things is present, no calyx, any of the single these 5 roles, if it is absent in case of any flower, that times we can say this is called incomplete flower. And there is also example accordingly here, bottle gourd and pumpkin, bottle gourd and pumpkin, incomplete flower. So sometimes asking for 1 mark question, what is the complete flower and what is the incomplete flower? On that time I think you will be able to give the answer. So flower types also having some different kinds of flower. The markering is completed. I need to take a marker. Just hold a second, couple of seconds. So another categories and types we can say here. Then also flowers which are pedicel. Flowers have pedicel. What is pedicel? They are known as the sessile flower, sessile flower. We can give example also with having their China rose pumpkin and also having on their China rose pumpkin. Flowers with no pedicel. Flowers, the category also, this one is also a category of flower. Flowers have no pedicel. Pedicel, it is non-sessile flower. Indian heliotrope, we can say here, Indian heliotrope. The example of that. What is the pedicel? What we say accordingly the pedicel? Pedicel means the stalk. In there, suppose this is the flower part and this one is attached with that part. This one is called pedicel, the lower stalk part or a stalk on there in a flower. Stalk, if it is the flower, this is the pedicel. Flower with having the stalk or pedicel have the sessile flower, China rose, pumpkin we have seen. Flower have no pedicel, Indian heliotrope, it is called non-sessile flower. So in this way we can understand the different category of the flower also, not only for this category. First category of the flower types, these are the flower types. First one, second one. First one we understood about the flower with complete flower and non-complete flower or incomplete flower. First category, flower types. Second category, sessile flower and non-sessile flower. And third category also have the flower types. In this case, the different kinds of flower can have also counted in this case. So this time there is also 2 categories we can say, that is bisexual flower and unisexual flower. Bisexual flower. Sexual flower. Bisexual flower. Bisexual flower means both androecium and gynoecium are present. Both androecium and gynoecium are present in a flower is called bisexual flower. We can say the China rose, datura, same way. And second category and second part we can say accordingly, unisexual flower, only androecium or gynoecium. Unisexual flower, sexual flower, only to know, only one, only androecium or gynoecium present. Only androecium and gynoecium present. Only androecium or gynoecium, single any of it present in a flower, inside the flower. We know that the flower types, we know the drawing figure of that flower parts. So after this point I will draw the figure, that times it will be better to see on there and try to be understood from there. Only androecium or gynoecium, single one will be present on there. Same example we can say the bottle gourd and pumpkin, yes. And sometimes another category of the flower can be found on there, that is called the neuter flower. Neuter flower, no androecium or gynoecium. Sometimes some plant can be flower can be found androecium or gynoecium. No androecium or gynoecium found. Male part and female part not present in such kind of flower is known as the neuter flower. It is very rare in case we can see accordingly. So in three categories, where there is the flower on the basis of the role, two parts, two types, complete flower and incomplete flower. Flower having the on the basis of in before what we like to say about the pedicel, on the basis of the pedicel, that times it is two categories and two kinds. Automatically we can say the sessile and non-sessile. Pedicel present sessile, no pedicel, non-sessile. Then we understood here, according to presence of the reproductive part likely to have the androecium and gynoecium if both are present. Bisexual in a flower, any single present. Unisexual, no present. Neuter flower. So this is the in general sense of the flower. Now we will go through to draw the figure of the flower and try to find out some points from there and try to be ensured with having a chart of them. Then after we will go through. So very first one to know about the reproductive part of flower, drawing parts, very important. So who have not pencil in you, just bring the pencil to draw this one. Draw the figure of flower. Okay, I just try to draw here. Just follow me here. Very first time class 8 I already make you understand in which way to draw the figure of flower. Okay, I make it sure and make it getting a shape in likely that here, and then after it is needed to have, it is your own way you can give it in there. I gave it two androecium is connected with them. It is better for your own choice. You can give it a single androecium in there and it will be 100% match up with there or not. We cannot make it compare with them. We will just try to draw on there. Okay, and then we will give it a shape here accordingly. okay, likely to have. This is the normal and common structure we tried to draw here specifically, and then in which way? That way I will just binding that part, and that is that binding way, just having likely to have in at the upper top part, then just connect this one with that part. Okay, it is not the matter. Connect this way, and this one to connect that way, likely that. Yes. So this is the structure of a complete flower. What is to finding part in there specifically? Okay. So this one is known as the pedicel. I told you in there, pedicel. Pedicel, here figure, flower, reproductive organ you can write on there, and then after you can write here the flower. Floral axis, which one we say? Floral axis. Whatever we can say here, this is the receptacle. Whatever we have say here to the thalamus in there, thalamus, receptacle and thalamus. Any of the same thing you can say here in accordingly. And then there is a structure is just left for to draw this one. Yes, 8 nucleus state, where we can say the embryo sac, you can give it in there, embryo sac on there. Yes, so this one is the sepal. Each and every single part of this, both is the calyx, but single each of the part of the calyx is called sepal. So I write in there sepal. Okay, then after we can go through on there. This one is known as the filament, and this one is known as the anther. And both anther and filament is the androecium. You can write about androecium. This one is the androecium, both of these two. And then this one is known as the ovary, and this part is known as the style, and these three combinedly say gynoecium, the female part, gynoecium, female part. Stigma, style and ovary is the gynoecium. Anther and filament combinedly to form the androecium. Then the sepal, this one is sepal, both are the calyx. Floral axis or receptacle and thalamus, and the stalk where they attach on there is the pedicel. And another main part is this one is known as the petal. Single part is called petal, and all of them togetherly we can say corolla. We will go through on there to know about them. So this figure flower, it is a complete flower, since we can see the androecium and gynoecium are present in a single flower, so it is called a complete flower. So in a complete flower, all the parts are on there, 5 parts, 5 important parts, 5 roll are in there. So what is the role? This is the not the mentioning part. Yes, main part. One of the important thing I tell you in there, you can match and mismatch with them. Receptacle, though I have written the 5 parts and 5 role, please make it a correction on there, some correction. Instead of complete flower 5 role, instead of writing the role, you will write the 5 parts. Where in the before I taught you in there the 2 different types. By missing on there, instantly I remind that one. 5 roles present in a flower, we can say complete flower. Where I have written not 5 roles, write the 5 main parts, 5 parts, what the mentioning. And second one also 5 roles cut and write there 5 parts. 5 parts are present on there specifically. Maintain that one, mention that one. Okay. Then some students and many of the students did the mistake, same mistake. Since I did the mistake, by mistake I write on there 5 main parts will be on there, not role. Receptacle, 1 part. Both sepal mean calyx, 2nd part. Petal, all the petals means corolla is the 3rd part. Anther and filament make endoecium is the 4th part. And stigma, style and ovary, gynoecium is the 5 parts. These are 5 main parts to say a complete flower. To say a complete flower, but counted the role. Role means which one directly attached with the flower, that is the role. Receptacle not directly attached with them, so receptacle is not counted as a role. So first role of the flower is the calyx, so that the sepal. First role we can say about there. Second role is the petal. Third role is the endoecium, and 4th role is the gynoecium. Though the 5 parts I have mentioned here, 4 role attachment with the flower, but this one is the outside. It is connected with the pedicel or a stalk, or with the shoot or a stem to connect on there. So this way we can say accordingly that all the parts, which one is not properly mentioned in there, if the 5 main parts are absent in case of any flower, we cannot say them as a complete flower. So very interesting. These all the parts, but all the parts we will mention in the next class to discuss about there. But here who are joining, oh, very good to see 26 after a long time. The guest, lots of guests, very good, my dear guest. Very good to see you, dear guest. Here. Okay. Syed Arifin, roll 29. Are you there? Syed Arifin?
Yes, sir.
Okay. On your video and show the drawing photograph. CA mark will be counted for there also. Roll 29. On your video. And anyone, if anyone left, Sumaira, don't count their presence today. If anyone left now from the Zoom meeting, 26 out of 26, okay, don't count them as a present student. Yes, on your video. Hey, give him the absent. On your video now. Okay, thank you for joining. Don't cut out the Zoom. I will cut the link from the Facebook live video. Then I will talk to you here.